up, YouTube? Baby, right back with another video.
We were actually just talking off camera about we were wondering what happened to our previous cars that we've sold in the past, and we figured maybe that'll be a cool video to show you guys kind of the history of our cars and what they went through before and after we sold them. So we've actually pulled up 5 CARFAX of our 5 previous bought and sold cars between us.
So yeah, a little background story about me. I technically owned a Mitsubishi Lancer 2002, kind of the ES model, and that was technically my first car, and now it's gone. So it's out of the family.
The first import.
Yeah, first import, and now I own a Subaru Impreza and a Mitsubishi Eclipse, but since the Lancer's gone, that's what the CARFAX is about. So we're looking back in that time period and how it's doing now.
And unlike Dave, I've only owned American cars, so I've had on this list with the 4 cars that I've bought and then sold. We have the 2015 Mustang EcoBoost, which you guys have definitely seen on the channel. That was sold to buy the Jeep SRT8 that we now have. The 1999 F-150 Lightning, which is the black one that you guys have also seen on the channel, that I sold to get the red Lightning that you guys have seen, obviously. The 96 Ford Bronco that was on the channel for a little bit of time. And then finally my first ever Jeep, the Jeep Compass, which was a 2008 Jeep that I owned. So we figure, we pulled up the CARFAX on all 5 of those, and we'll just go through and talk a little bit about surprises that we saw on the CARFAX, and see what we can find out.
So let's get started with the Mustang.
So the first one, as Dave said, is the 2015 Mustang. First thing to note is no accidents. That's awesome. I knew that obviously driving, I didn't have any accidents, which was good. And when I bought it, there was no accidents, which was something I was looking for. It does have the regular oil changes tag on CARFAX report. I was very, very, kept with the schedule of the oil changes, as you guys watching should do as well. So that's good to see. It does have one open recall. We'll have to see what that one is about. And upon first looking at this, I see 4 previous owners, which kind of surprised me because I thought I was the second owner. But actually what happened is that I registered it in my name after it was from a family member. So that counts as a second and a third owner when I registered in my own name. So then the 4th owner is the new owner. Last odometer reading is 77,408 miles, which is surprising because I sold it with almost that. I feel like 76,000 maybe miles. So we'll have to go through and see. So it looks like I bought it in 2018, I believe. Let's scroll down. So this first part just talks about it was bought in Connecticut, actually, where we are, as a lease. So they leased it from 2015 when it was new all the way until 2017, the end of 2017. So I assume that's a 3-year lease, which is pretty typical. All the way till 2018, which it was sold at an auto auction, which went to First Ford in Fall River, Massachusetts, which is where I purchased it. And it was listed as certified pre-owned, which is where you see that Ford Blue Advantage, which is a pretty cool thing. And then, I bought it at 21,667 miles in February of 2018. And then we can go through all of this stuff. Honestly, if you guys haven't seen the previous videos on the Mustang, I had pretty much 0 issues with the Mustang. Obviously, it was certified pre-owned, which if there was any major issues, it would have been covered, but pretty much had no issues. So we can pretty much scroll through that. We noticed a lot of it was serviced at Hoffman Ford. Pretty much 99% of the service was there. Tried to keep it consistent. But then we'll go down to the bottom where I sold it on December 1st, 2021 to buy the Jeep SRT8 that you guys have seen. And it looks like it was then sold on February 3rd, 2022. So that's almost 3 months. Actually, more than 3 months. Yeah, maybe almost 3 months. To someone that lives in New Jersey. But what's unfortunate is there's no service after that. No service records for the Mustang in almost 1 year. And as we see, there's a lien on the Mustang. But that was unfortunate to see that there's no service records. I wanted oil changes every 3,000 miles, keep it back, keep it in good condition.
I guess, obviously, when you're sending your car away, you want your car to go in good hands. But, I mean, who knows? We got to hope for the best.
Maybe I'm picturing, like, the Jay Leno garage. It's just in there, and that's why he hasn't serviced it, because it's been in there the whole time, right? With all the other
garage
Mustangs.
Kept.
Yeah, garage kept. He has a collection of Mustangs, so he doesn't drive it often. That's why.
Probably what's happening, and they got a lien for it. A loan.
So. Maybe
you
it's at a
guys
car
can
museum.
speculate.
But that was the first one. So I guess we'll head on to the next one, which is the Black Lightning, the SVT 1999 Lightning. If you guys haven't seen the video on the differences between the 99, which is this one, and my 2004, make sure to click up there. First thing you see is an accident reported. There's actually 2 accidents on the Black Lightning that we can hopefully see on the CARFAX, and then 4 previous owners again. Last reported odometer was 99,274, which is once again very close to what I sold it for almost over a year ago. Scroll through accident reported. If we click on this, it doesn't bring us to it because we saved it as a PDF. But so here's the first accident we see on the CARFAX report. It was damage to the front, which is obviously not ideal. It's probably the worst place you have damage. But if you notice, this was actually done only 4 months, less than 4 months from when it was new. So it was bought in June of 1999, and then they had an accident in October of 1999, which was when we were...
I was almost 3 years old.
Yeah, we were 2 and 3 years old, which was kind of sad. And it says low mileage from the previous owner, but they were in New Jersey their whole life, which was good. Serviced at Ford, which was something good to see. Keep going, 2011, same kind of thing. In New Jersey, and then here's the second accident that I was talking about. Once again in the front, but this one says minor damage. I don't know what that means. I think typically CARFAX says minor is like just dents, dings, and scratches, which I don't know why you'd go through insurance. But so then here's the next owner, owner 3, was purchased in New York this time. So I went from New Jersey to New York, and that's where we actually went and picked it up. If you guys haven't seen we bought a Ford Lightning video.
Driving in snow.
Driving in snow. We got it stuck the first time we picked it up. But it looks like he owned it from 2017 all the way till when we bought it in 2020. Yeah, 2020. And it only had 91,000 miles, so he drove it about 9,000 miles. And I just went right past the end. So here in December 19th, 2020 is when I bought it. Registered in Connecticut. Serviced it once. And then in 1 year, sold it to another guy local to Connecticut in East Hartford, which was good. And once again, no service records. What the heck? Maybe it's with the Mustang.
Got a lot of Ford collectors.
Yeah, a lot of Ford collectors. Maybe they're buddies in there.
That's funny. Maybe it's the same guy.
Same guy.
Who knows?
But that was interesting. Since he bought it in February of 2021, it's now January of 2023. And nothing has happened.
And then obviously you got the upgraded Lightning, so the Red Lightning on the channel.
The Red Lightning's on the channel, which you will not see the CARFAX for on that.
Never, because he's never selling it.
Never selling it. Mm-mm. Maybe.
Yeah, for
big money.
Good price. Emails, you guys, you know. All right, so that leads up to the next car, which is my car.
Lancer.
Yeah, the 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer. So this one kind of surprised me a lot, and it might, you guys will learn something about me too. Little draw on my life thing here. But yeah, you guys can see 2-liter 4-cylinder little front wheel drive car. One thing I learned, it was a rental for its first year in its life down in Miami, Florida, which is where I was born. And you can see it was a rental for a year. Second owner purchased it in 2002, and they used it for 4 months. And then 2003, it looks like that's when my dad bought it. So we've owned it for almost 20 years, and so it's treated us pretty good, I think. But it was starting to get a little scary driving it, so we decided to get rid of it. But we're gonna show you guys down there as we scroll down and see. But yeah, you can see its original window sticker, which is kind of cool. You can see it was sold in Miami, Florida there. Things like that. Titled, this is rental
What rental
stuff.
car company do you think had it? Do you think it was like Enterprise or like Avis or?
Geez, yeah.
I wish it said that.
Back in the day, cool. I mean, who knows what was around, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like Sun City Motors with next to the Lamborghinis down in Miami. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, nothing really crazy here. I guess not a lot of services too. Just a bunch of like title issues going on, registration, vehicle service, which is good. And And I forgot to mention earlier, there is an accident reported, but it's nothing big. I actually just recalled it when me and Tim were looking at the CARFAX.
You said it was just like you just both backed up and both hit each other's back bumper.
Just a little fender bender and no visible damage, just very minor stuff. And yeah, I mean, we've done all the services here down in Florida, and then you can kind of see the transition as we move from Florida, and then eventually we move to Southington, Connecticut, which is where I live now. And you can see 2010, servicing it, all this stuff, no issues.
So when you moved to Connecticut, it was only 100,000 miles.
Only
was
100?
it like? Yeah. Was it like on the way out, or you had confidence in it even at 100,000?
Yeah, I think we drove from Florida. We drove all the way to Connecticut. It was like a 24-hour ride, and obviously we had to stop. But it was we felt good about it. No issues. I don't really remember any issues at all with the Lancer. I guess, which is why I bought the Eclipse. But well, who knows how that's going. But so yeah. Other than that, it was pretty reliable, and it does show a little New Jersey registration. My dad, he lived in New Jersey at the time, and you can see that he had it registered there. But a little fun fact about that, the car did have a Florida license plate, and somewhere in Connecticut's life, the Florida license plate fell off, and we had to get it registered through my dad. He owned the car, and that's why it has the New Jersey license plate. So. And
it seems like you love Mad Hatters.
Yeah, I used to love Mad Hatters. No, I still do. Jeff, in case you're watching, I still love him.
Just you service everything though.
That's we service everything here at Mad Hatters. One time at Maida's, and Schaller Mitsubishi when that was a thing, and all the way down to 187,919 miles when the plan was to give it away to my fiance. And it turns out that it failed emissions, and I didn't want to have to deal with whatever repairs had to come of it. So what we ended up doing is we donated it to Cars for Kids because we love the kids here and trying to protect them.
But you were thinking that it would show something on the CARFAX about it being parted out or something.
That was another thing. So we shipped it over to Cars for Kids. I remember just like it was yesterday, the tow man bringing it over. And that was back in 2018, but there's no sign of it being like not a total vehicle, but like a parts or just like it's totally done. Like there's no hint of that. It was just it failed at emissions, and that was it. Nothing else to say.
Where do you think it is? Just like it got the jaws of life, or?
I'm thinking maybe there's like donated parts over to some car, so it's still out there.
It's still out there. The heart and soul are in other cars.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I like to look at it. But in reality, it probably got crushed after all of that selling.
So. You think the Cars for Kids just crushed it?
It's for profit, I guess. Oh.
Cool. Now we'll head on to the 96 Bronco, which I had big plans for, as you guys might have seen. If you guys haven't seen it, click some of the Bronco videos. I had big plans to bring it back to life, but parking restrictions in my building and just other priorities took precedence. So we ended up selling the Bronco to another person in Connecticut, which had big plans for us. So I was excited to see. But let's see what kind of plans he actually did have. So from 1996, 0 accidents, which was really cool to see.
I've never seen that before. Blazer, Jimmy, Scout.
So utility, it's like an SUV is sport utility
Chevy
vehicle.
Blazer?
So it's like anything under utility could be a Blazer, a Jimmy, a Scout, any like those types of cars. So it's cool to see.
Never heard. Well, we don't hear about that now, but
yeah.
Wow, that's a fun fact for before when we were born.
Exactly. So no accidents all the way since 1996 is really cool, but only 8 service history records. If we go up to the Lancer, it was what 24, 20 something. Last owned in Connecticut, which is where I sold it. And it looks like the first owner owned it for 7 years, first and second. Third owner owned it for 18 years, and then the newest owner a year and 6 months. So I don't know where I stand in that because, I don't know, that's strange. But looks like it was sold in New York for the very first time in June of 1996. Had all the typical stuff done at Ford, which was good to see. And this was after the OJ Bronco. I think the OJ Bronco was like 94, I want to say.
Oh, was it?
So this is like, peak Bronco time.
So the prices were high.
Prices were high.
After that.
So all services... I scrolled too much because there's like nothing.
Yeah, there was a fun fact in there. Maine.
Yeah, so it went to Maine. So it went from Connecticut to Maine, now back to Connecticut, obviously, which was cool. But what happened is between 2010, right here, and when I serviced it in 2021, there was 0 service records. Well, let me tell you, that thing drove great. You know, I made sure to get it up to speed, and obviously, scenes at Jones Automotive Service, we got a lot of stuff done, to including new fuel tank, and then also down here maybe. I don't know if it's on here, but we also had the suspension checked and worked on at a different mechanic shop. But what I did like to see is down here, which after I sold it in June of 2021, it looks like the new owner has serviced it in Connecticut, which was awesome. It looks like they did steering and suspension lubrication, and a whole bunch of other stuff, including brake rotors resurfaced, thrust angle alignment. I don't even know what that is. But it looks like they're putting the time and work into it, which is cool to see.
Yeah, and I think he was going to make a restoration out of it too. So
yeah, because it had that rust on the side. And he was like, my brother has a body shop, no worries, he's going to take care of it. So it was cool to see and be able to sell it to somebody that cared. And finally, we have the one that I was personally most interested in seeing, and I'm probably not you guys because you guys haven't seen it on the channel, was the 2008 Jeep Compass Sport, the first ever car that I ever owned. And it was bought in 2015. So it started its life in 2008 when it was new in New Jersey, and it lived a very, very simple life there, just typical oil changes, tire rotations, all the way till 2015 when it was sold at auction. And then I bought it in July 7th of 2015 and registered it in Southington. And then I brought it to, we noticed when we were going through, I brought it to like 4 different dealerships in the first year.
You like to go through different dealers.
Yeah, I think maybe I was just trying to find somebody that I really liked. So I went to Papa's, Crowley, Hoffman.
Yeah, you commuted a lot in this car too. So.
Yeah, what we noticed is 18,000 miles I averaged a year with this Jeep, so it was kind of crazy. But I loved that Jeep.
Yeah, me too. I remember we used to drive in that thing, go see the movies. So, yeah, I mean, it has a lot of sentimental value.
It does.
He's actually thinking about buying it back.
If you guys are watching this and you own this Jeep Compass, let me know. I'd like to buy it, maybe. $2,000 or less. But now we get to the part in 2018 when I sold it for the Mustang. I sold it to a place in Massachusetts, First Ford, which is where obviously the Mustang was. And I sold it with 120,000 miles. But what was cool is the next owner purchased it only 1.5 weeks later, which was awesome, and registered it in Massachusetts. And it's been there ever since. So I sold it with 120,000 miles, and it looked like it had a very, very easy life, no major issues, all the way up until 3 months ago, 10/18/2022. It is still going. The last thing they did was an oil and filter change with 170,000 miles. So that means they've gone 50,000 miles since I sold it.
Did it fail emissions?
It did fail emissions, right? Right here.
It failed, and then he did an oil change, and then it passed.
And it passed.
so
maybe there was check engine light. Maybe there was
he fixed it.
a dead battery or something. So I know that can sometimes cause it if there's not enough voltage. But I really like to see that the Jeep was taken good care of. It's still on the road today, and hopefully still in good condition.
Yeah, isn't it kind of funny? The other cars you maybe more cared about haven't been serviced, and this one is taken care of the most. Yeah. At least through the service.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought this was a cool video just to go through back in time, see what our cars have been up to in the last couple of years. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe.
Comment.
Tell us some stories on your cars maybe down below. Maybe you sold it and a month later someone bought it and totaled it, which might hurt me if that happened. But let us know. Or maybe, maybe there's even better stories than this where it's gone 230,000 miles.
And it's still going.
Who knows? So let us know. And also don't forget, we do have merch. We have this sticker, which is on Dave's laptop right here.
Got my
for
shirt.
$3, the shirt.
Right up here.
And our magnet here, which are $4 for free with free shipping.
Comfy. Yeah. Well, link in the description for that. And
just like that,
AVI out.